I just started that stream and Oreo's crying. Okay, hold up. Okay, so I wanted to make this stream because I just followed up with someone regarding, like, they're not taking care of themselves, and I wanted to make this video because I thought it was incredibly important. Hold on. Oreo, come here. I just fed him 2 hours ago and he wants more food. Oh, jeez. Okay, so the thing is that I alluded to this in my last stream. So I know a person. What is that, Oreo? Let me hear him. He's screaming bloody murder. What is it, Oreo? Are you that hungry? Are you that hungry? I just fed you 2 hours ago. He's throwing a little tantrum at me. Stop that, Oreo. Come on. He just wants more and more food, I swear. I give him more food, and then after I give him more food, he aggressively wants more food, and he's just throwing a little tantrum at me. Oreo, you know, I always know how much food I'm giving you, so I know how much food you're eating. Yeah. Yeah, he's just mad. He's mad. Gosh. Okay, so this has been a distracted stream right now. Oreo, come here. Come here. Come on. Stop throwing a little tantrum at me. Stop throwing a tantrum, okay? Okay. So I think he's okay. We'll see. Okay. So the thing about this person is that, so I saw a picture of them and they look like crap because their hair was obviously grown out heavily, and it wasn't like it looked like it wasn't grown out intentionally. I could look at their eyes and their eyes were just very depressed. They looked unkempt, and it raised some alarm bells in me because when I saw this, I was like, you know, they don't look like they're in a good headspace. So I asked them what was going on. I told them that they should cut their hair because it was, they didn't look confident. Let me put it that way. And this person is quite aesthetic naturally. So they have a good face, you know, they have a good body, they have a good height. Yeah. And when I saw this picture of them, I was kind of surprised because, you know, that wasn't the person that I remember seeing back in Hawaii. I reached out to them and they told me that they feel like a hateful person right now because of relationship issues, or they didn't want to be in any relationship. Then they told me that there's basically that people haven't really been there for them, and they it sounded like they're blaming themselves for it, for maybe doing something wrong. And I asked them a few questions, and because this was online, they didn't get back to me. And yeah, I also think it's New Year, so go fig. There's a time difference, obviously, between here and Hawaii, so yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for that. But I wanted to get on this. Oh my goodness, Oreo! Oreo, what is this? Oh my goodness. So there's so okay. Okay, Oreo, you're way too freaking distracting, Oreo. Okay. It's hard to do a stream away from the cats. If I do the stream away from the cats and Oreo wants to get into the closet, he starts clawing at the door. Or you hear him? You hear him? He's clawing at the door right now. And there is really no such thing as privacy. So anyway, what they were telling me is that they're not in a good headspace right now. People have left their life, and as a result of that, they just want to look like crap, basically. And I was thinking to myself, like, what kind of freaking logic is that? Okay, people are not being supportive in your life, so therefore you're gonna punish yourself. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Or you want to ward people away? No. This is 2021. This is a new year. And if people are not meeting the certain standard that you have for other people, which is being supportive, you know, being there, then kick them to the curb. I don't. Oh, oh my gosh. Yeah, kick them to the curb, because if you are keeping these, like, and maybe this is just too preliminary for me to say it, but if you are keeping people in your life that are just acting as, filler space, then you should, it's like not doing you any favor. I think it's very sad if you are around a lot of people yet you feel so alone. And this person, from what I recall, they're very social. They're a lot more social than I am. They have a lot more quote friends than I do. But there's a difference between having friends and having acquaintances and just having, these very like, I know this person or I hang out with this person, but they're not really there for me. You see? Um so I don't really know what the situation with their friends are, but it seems that if they're feeling really alone right now and their anchor system or the people that they have in their life is not cutting it for them and they're kind of wallowing this depression, then my opinion is like kind of shame on their friends in Hawaii. And I know this is very brazen for me to say it like that, like shame on their friends, but I'm not in Hawaii. I saw how this person looked like based on one picture, and it's enough for me to reach out to them and say like what is going on. So for their friends in Hawaii to see this and then not do anything or just pretend that everything is okay and not offer any support, it's like it's just depressing. It's depressing to think about it that way. And um yeah, it just comes down to one of those things. Oreo, what are you doing? Oreo, stop that, Oreo. It just comes down to, I think this person needs to have better friends. I think that this person needs to needs to surround themselves with people that really care. And if they're not around people that really care for them, the scary thing is that I think it's a very high chance that they're just going to wallow more in depression and then be more unkempt. And as much as they think they might have the situation under control and say like, "Oh yeah, I just want to make myself unattractive so no one dates me." I can see right through that stuff. I can see right through that smokescreen. They're not looking bad because they want to ward off people. That reaction of wanting to look unattractive, that's a psychological issue. That you know, that's a psychological issue because I can tell you straight up, okay? You can be attractive, but it's not like people are gonna, clamor towards you or anything like that. Oreo, what are you doing, Oreo? Oreo's like acting up so much. Just wait. I leave him outside. He's gonna start. He's gonna. So he ran out. Wait. He's gonna go. Ah! Just wait. Just wait. I can sense it already. I can sense it. So yeah, it's a psychological issue, and I think they need to have it under control. My worry is that I don't know how long this has been going on since, I haven't been in Hawaii for um like over a year. So if this had started maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, I don't really know because I don't keep track of people that often. I'm not saying like I'm a really bad friend or anything, but it's it's just that like you lose track of time, and then when you keep track of people online, the people don't really like openly say certain things online. Like for me, you guys know, like my life is pretty much an open book. But like on social media, like let's say, Instagram or I don't know, TikTok or um yeah, Facebook, that kind of stuff. People usually won't show that side to them. They'll always show the cool side, the ooh, look at what I have, or look at the exercise that I'm doing, or look how great my body looks like, or look how good the food I'm eating is. So it's like I think I'm following some of my friends, but I'm not really reaching out to a lot of them too often. Maybe it's like once every few months. The people in Hawaii, I just had a conversation, as I told you guys earlier, like with my neighbor from Hawaii earlier today. I haven't spoken to her in a couple months. It's not because, I don't care about her. I obviously care about her a lot. It's just, you lose track of time, life goes on, and yeah. So I gotta follow up with this person tomorrow. I messaged them, but I don't think they're gonna message me back since it's New Year, so I don't expect them to. But um, yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys that if people do leave your life and you don't find yourself having a really good support system, and it's not because you f them over or anything like that, you probably need to have better friends. It's not about quality. I mean, it's not about quantity, it's about quality of friends. And sometimes I think people get so caught up in this whole idea of having like lots of friends or knowing lots of people that they don't really focus on like who's really there for them. And I learned that the hard way. You know, there's been several times in my life that I kind of had to do like a major sweep of my quote friends because I would sense that like some of these people that I know in my life, it's like they don't really genuinely care about me. They're just they just care about, like, things that I find very vapid. So or, things that I find vapid or it's like we just don't see we're just not on, like, the same wavelength. Not saying, like, they're all bad people or anything like that. That's definitely not the case, but I think, like, birds of a feather kinda flock together, or, birds of a feather that kinda, like, understand each other somewhat is important. My friends, as I shared with you guys before, there can be times where I don't talk to people for, let's say, 6 months to a year, but if they call me up, I'll be like, "Hey, what's up? How have you been? Blah, 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 blah." Um, and that to me is, like, not unusual. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how often you guys keep up with your friends, but for me, it's like I've kind of gotten used to, like, losing track of time, and the next thing you know, it's like, "Oh, hey, look, it's 2021. It's no longer 2020." But, yeah, the same thing about losing track of time, depression works like that too. If people are heavily depressed, they lose track of time, they lose track of their surroundings, and the scary thing about depression, I've touched up about this on, like, several times, is it's very, very easy to get lost in one head, and if you get lost in your head, it can be very, very difficult to get out of that headspace, so it's important to have a friend. Oreo, stop that. It's important to have a friend or support system. Like if they see that you're not in a good place, kind of nudge you out of there. Say, hey, I know you're not in a good space right now, but like, can I do anything to help you feel better? Or, offer advice, offer some guidance. Don't just kind of like kick them to the curb kind of thing, or just be like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that person because they're not in a good space and I've had it in my life where sometimes I haven't had people like in my own life because I was going through some really like dark depression and I distinctively remember I did get better in a when I did get into a better headspace. I kind of forgot about those people, like I was just like, I'm a better person, I'm a stronger person. And yeah, I don't yeah, like, they never reached out to me or something like that, and I didn't reach out to them, and it's kinda like, okay. Um, it annoys me personally when I come across people who are always so freaking happy. You know the type that's always like, "Oh, my day's awesome, and tomorrow it's gonna be incredible." Like, I've met people like that, and I'm not a violent person, but let's just say, like, after a while, these people annoy the living crap out of me. Because I think to myself, like, are these people in line with reality? Like, are they aware they have suffering in the world? And, um, yeah, it's just, like, it's something like that, like, happy ha like, incredibly happy people who are like, I'm not gonna let anybody rain on my parade ever again." Oreo, stop it. Get those paws back in there. Come on. Play with another cord, Oreo. Don't play with my charging cord. Oreo's pulling my charging cord right now. But yeah. Oreo, do you want to come back in? Okay. Jesus, cat. Yeah. So, okay. I opened the door. I'm closing the door right now. Yeah. Yeah. So just Yeah, it's just like things like that. I don't take it into I don't get sad when people leave my life, really. Yeah, he's sabotaging my screen big time. Hopefully he's off to bother Lewis because I don't want him bothering my stream. It's hard because like when I get interrupted, I lose my train of thought like that, especially when I hear clawing or someone pulling my phone cable. But yeah, if you don't have any people in your life, just focus on yourself. I'm assuming you're not a douche or not a jerk, so it's probably just that you have to wait till you find people who you jive with. And um, I know that the situation, the lockdown situation makes things a little bit more difficult. But yeah, yeah, don't sabotage yourself or don't bring yourself down or don't try to look bad just because people left your life. You are not helping your headspace. You are not helping yourself become a better person in the future. And I think it's a recipe for some long depression. I can say this from personal experience too. So I hope this person in my life gets out of it. I hope that they are able to just realize like they're just shooting themselves in the foot doing this sort of action. And if they don't want to be in a relationship, they don't have to try to look like crap. Like I said, I really don't believe that BS. I think it's a psychological issue that they're going with. That's why they're not taking care of themselves. But yeah, and if they don't want to be in a relationship, they can just tell a person that they met like I don't want to be in a relationship. I prefer to be single right now. If you intentionally make yourself look bad, you're setting up yourself for really bad habits down the line where it's like, okay, I'm so used to not looking good because I haven't looked good in the last month. And uh, then, if people don't take care of themselves, then they start looking not great. And then maybe they just kind of spiral out of control. And when I talk about spiral out of control, not just like you don't cut your hair, but you don't groom yourself, you don't take a shower, you don't wear deodorant, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So I hope this person gets back up on their feet, and um I hope that they get back to me about this, and they tell me what's really going on. I mean, I'd love to know, what the kind of crap is going on. I like to think, and this is just my speculation here, that they met a person, a woman who was not good fit for them psychologically. And as a result of that, they went into a deep, dark space like I have seen countless times. That's why I say it's very, very important for you guys. If you are dating someone, be it man or woman, you gotta find someone who does not bring you down psychologically. Because if you are being with people who are just like energy drains or like psychological pits of despair, it's not elevating you. And if you're in a relationship, my belief is, or even if you're casually dating someone, my belief is that you cannot be around with a person who just kind of brings you down. You want to be around people who who are supportive, who lifts you up, who encourages you to be a better person, who inspires you, I guess, or inspires you, or you know what I'm saying? Like they're pushing you to be a better version of yourself. Yourself, but on a higher level. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I hate it. I absolutely hate it where I hear about these guys who become a shadow of themselves because of a freaking woman. And it's like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So I'm gonna take a stab here and say that they got out of a relationship that was not good for their mental health. And then uh maybe there was a lot of BS, maybe their friends were tired of the BS. I don't know what it was. Maybe their friends were just flaky to begin with. I want to get the whole story about that. And yeah, now they feel alone and they're just swallowing in depression. And that's not how you get out of depression. Getting out of depression is not putting yourself in a situation that makes that depression come out even more. So, Yeah, I noticed, like, too, when I was looking back through their pictures, I was like, "Man, this person's, been putting on weight, they haven't been cutting their hair, their eyes look sad," and it's just not a good situation. It really is not a good situation, so I'm gonna pray that they get a little better, and, you know, of course, I sent them words of encouragement, and I basically told them to kick the crap to the curb and let it stay at the curb, um and yeah, I wish them the best. I really do. It's tough sometimes when you have people who let you down, and especially if you combine that with depression, because then someone feels so alone. And it's important to, to have at least one or two people in your life, in my opinion, who, who be there for you, who will push them up. Out of that depression, or just be patient. They can also be desperate for any relationship, so they will do anything to maintain it. Oh yeah, I hate those. I hate those people like that. The reason why I say I hate those people like that is because when they are like that, then they lose respect for for um themselves. And I like to think that everybody should see themselves as either like a king or a queen, and people should not people should not just relegate themselves to like level of peasants, or like punching bag, shall I say. So I see these times where like the person is treating the other person like absolute crap. And it's not, how would I say it? I'm trying to think of my words here. Um, they treat them like crap. Like, you can tell that you can tell, like, someone can say that they love someone, right? But I don't really believe too much in words. I believe more in actions. So, for instance, right? If someone says like, "Oh, I love this person," but then they don't do anything that shows it, or they do something like yell at this person or curse at this person, then and I don't mean curse at this person as like, I mean curses it like they're verbally abusive to the person. I don't consider that to be love. And I think sometimes when people are in very emotionally traumatic relationships, they think that that's love, or that person cares for them, and that person needs help, and this person needs saving, and yeah, it's just. I mean, like, it's just, yeah, you can imagine that's pretty mentally taxing and stuff, but yeah, but then if you're too close to that fire, then it scorches you. And I would actually disagree, Joseph. I've met people who are so deeply entrenched in a fog that if I try to talk to them sometimes, they see me as the enemy. They do. Or, they'll be like, "Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand what I'm going through because you haven't been in a situation like this before." And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to empathize with you. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from." That kind of thing, and it's just not enough. So some people, it's like you can extend a hand to them, but they won't they won't take it. And that's pretty heartbreaking. I've been in several times. It's like I'm trying to tell a person like, "Hey, I know you need help. Let me try to help you. Let me try to encourage you to get out of this." And then instead of taking it, they snap. They snap, or they just want to wallow in their depression. And I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing that at all. Yeah, for sure. But I do know that they know that it's not because I'm unsupportive. It's like, well, I can't really do much. I can't. It like you can encourage someone and you can give people options, but if they choose not to take it, that's on them. That's completely on them. And yeah, but it's important to be incredibly patient. And as I've said, like I say this as a person who's been in depression for a lengthy amount of time. Like, and the people that who were there for me throughout that time, I will always remember. They were so incredibly patient. They were they were patient and they were supportive. And when I got out of it, I was just very thankful. And then part of like getting out of depression is you need to change your mindset about yourself. I think sometimes people, like, if life sends you some like really hard punches, or if life sends like a pile of poop on your way, it's hard to like take that all in one day, and so you just gotta like work at it. And I put a lot of emphasis on mental health because of that reason. I've known several people who have crossed over to the other side prematurely because their depression got the better of them. So, yeah, I believe strongly in seeking therapy. I don't think there's any taboo on them. And yeah. Yeah, like people who I know who are depressed, like I'll reach out to them, and I'll offer them my help, or I'll tell them, I'll tell them, like, hey, things are gonna get better. Don't like what you're facing right now, like depending on the issue, right? Like if someone's sad about a relationship ending, I'll be like, this is not going to be the be all and end all. You met, how many people have you dated before? Oh, I dated blah 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 people. Okay, so you met, like, let's say, two other people before you met this person. So how do you know you might not find another person down the line, or two other people down the line, or three other people down the line? You don't know. Unless you try to get over things. And yeah, I don't like it when some people, they act like when a relationship is over, it's like their life is over. They will never ever find someone. It's like, oh, for frick's sake. Um, if there was someone before, there could definitely be someone thereafter. If someone isn't treating you right, or if you feel like a person's not a good match, then yeah. But never ever let like the ending of a single relationship. And I think that's what happened with this person. I think that they were in a relationship, it didn't work out. It was probably very emotionally tiresome, tiring for them. And they just kind of said, F it, none of my other relationships work. So yeah. So screw this relationship too. And then screw future relationships. And that's not gonna help them out at all. I remember, and this is just gonna go back. I remember, like, I was talking to this one person. I remember the first guy I dated, and this is gonna go back. The first guy I dated, I remember when I ended it. I was sad, but the reason why I ended my first relationship is I didn't feel like that guy had a backbone. And I say that very openly because I would like say like, "Hey, let's do something," and he'll be like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. What do you want to do?" And then he'll be like, "I don't know," or I'll talk to him about an issue, and then he'll be like, and I'll explain the issue thoroughly, like I need advice about it. And at the end of it, I'll say, "Okay, so what do you think about it?" And his answer was, "I don't know." And I'm like, "What do you mean you don't know?" And he's like, "I don't know, Erica." And I'm like, "Well, I just told you the whole issue. Can you tell me what your thoughts about it is?" And he'd be like, "I don't know." And this happened, like, not just for one issue, it happened with basically everything. So after a while, it got very tiresome, and I realized, like, I didn't want to be around a person who was like, "I don't know." What to me? I don't know. Like, I want to be around with a person who had opinion, who could form like thoughts that went past I don't know. So I remember when I ended it, he was so sad about it. And but you know what happened? The next woman he ended up dating was the woman he married and had a kid with, and I was so happy for him. And I remember thinking, like, when I found out he was dating someone, I was like, "Oh crap, dang!" He always wanted to marry a Japanese girl, and he was dating a Japanese girl. I mean, she was from Japan, so he ended up with a Japanese girl from Japan, and they have a kid together, and the kid is super cute, by the way. And yeah, it's like that kind of thing. He didn't wallow in depression. He went out and found someone, and he found a person who was, who who was a better match for him. And like I said, I'm really happy for him. It's like one of those things, like, about relationships that I have. This is like, I don't have any ill will towards my exes. I'm actually friends with most of my exes still. I still talk to them, and it's like I hear about like not all of them, of course. Like some of them, it's like you just naturally lose touch. But let's see. The ones that I don't talk to are now married and have kids. And from my understanding, it was actually the ones right after me. So after we broke up, they met a woman, and then that woman they ended up having a kid with them. And it's like I see the kids, I can search for them online. And I think to myself, like, this is such a great thing because they found someone who they felt like they're obviously compatible with. And yeah. One of the other things too that that I that I was pushing for, and this is on a personal note, is this. It's like if you're in a relationship, I think it's pretty apparent. Like after how would I say it? Nah, maybe I shouldn't say. But basically, I'm gonna say it this way. I think I think that it's because they moved on after we broke up, and then they opened up their hearts and they found someone else more compatible. So yeah, I'm happy for that. Yeah, and I think that I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it might sound strange to people, but I'm really happy when my exes end up finding love, and it's like I really wish the best for them. When I hear about them having kids, it's like I almost like my first ex. Like I know his name, and but I don't want to reach out to him and be like, "Oh, congratulations, I heard you have a daughter, and I'm so happy for you. I'm really happy that your life, your life it seems to be, great now." And yeah, it's weird if I don't speak to someone. If I actually do speak to them, then it's not weird, but it's not like one of those like, "Oh, it's the girl who reached out to me before I found my wife." Like that would be a weird message to reach out to. So that's why I don't message them about that kind of stuff. But I send good vibes to them. So yeah, when I heard about, people getting angry about an ex, or like, oh, okay, yeah, we broke up, and then there's like some angry feelings between it, like I don't understand it. I think that if like a relationship doesn't work, instead of getting depressed, like just see it as like an opportunity to find someone who's more compatible. And it stings, it stings to be dumped. It definitely stings, but I think when the dust and when the hurt settles, you realize that, hey, there's a whole world out there, and there's so much possibilities. And if any of you have ever been in, dumped or whatnot, don't see it as really like the sky is falling down. I think that's what happened to my friend, the one who's not taking care of themselves. I think that they're just probably, in a place of pain, and maybe they're getting agitated, and maybe they're getting agitated because they met a bunch of people and they can't find, a good match, or um and instead of just saying it seeing it as like, okay, it's a new opportunity for me to try again, or it's a new opportunity for me to find a better woman or something like that, they just internalize it, and then they hate upon themselves, and that doesn't help it. Like for instance, right, I think women can really sense if a person is in a bad place. Like for me, when I saw that person and when I saw that picture of them, I was like, look, this person is obviously not in a good headspace. This person is obviously hurting. You cannot, in my opinion, you cannot find a healthy relationship if you do not respect yourself and you do not give off like any like confident vibes or happy vibes. You also cannot depend on another person to bring you happiness. And I found that out the hard way. Like if you are depressed, you cannot rely on your partner to bring you happiness, because what happens to your partner if they get hit by a car? What happens to your partner if they go hiking and then they go missing and they die suddenly? Like your happiness cannot die right there. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if anything ends, like do not feel like it's the end of the freaking world. Or do not like start lashing out upon yourself and then trying to like sabotage yourself, because that isn't helping yourself at all. Yeah, so I just, it's like I know these streams kind of get windy and things like that, but I always think to myself like, I think there must be at least like one person out in the world who maybe if they hear this stuff, maybe it'll snap them out of depression. Maybe they'll become like a little bit more a little stronger. Um and yeah, I don't I think that most people they do go through bouts of depression, but I think it's incredibly healthy that if you are stuck in depression for a sizable amount of time, that you try to make sure you get out of it for sure. Because if you do not get out of it, life will pass you by, and then you will slowly but surely feel resent towards others, and then you'll have like more hatred for yourself, and you will ask yourself, like why is that person's life so much better than mine's? And then maybe you won't realize that, hey, it's because that person focused more on themselves rather than just feeling, feeling like, oh, my life is shit. I feel like crap. I'm not going to do anything to make put myself in a better headspace. So, yeah, I found that out the hard way. I found that out the hard way. There was a sizable part of my life. I was really depressed, and I was just like, I don't even remember that period of my life very well sometimes because it's like I would just, how to put it, like, I was just waiting for life to pass me by. And then I wake up and I'm like, "Whoa. Whoa. Time went by super freaking quickly." And it's kind of scary. Obviously, I'm not like I'm not waking up dreading the mornings or just kind of waiting for life to pass me by now. But part of that happened because it's like I got out of my own head, and it's very, very, very difficult to get out of one's head if you're in a really, really bad place. And you just got to be patient with yourself. You got to have a good support system. If you need, seek therapy, seek help. Yeah, I understand Defiant Heroes. I completely understand it for you. I knew this person, okay? He went to high school with me. He was a smart guy. He knew about computers, and I know you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, Erica, you think he's smart because you know about computers." No, he had potential, and but the problem is that he had really bad freaking depression, and I had no idea about this. Okay, so he was a smart guy and he carried himself pretty well, but I had no idea how bad his depression is. Like I knew him, but I wouldn't say we were friends. We were more like acquaintances. So I hung out with him a few times and I was just like, oh, okay. Now because we knew people, it's like we went to the same high school. We kind of know people who know each other. I found out a few years after we graduated high school. Actually, I spoke to him in college too, but I found out like a few years after I graduated from college. Like one of my friends told me, they said, "Oh, I didn't know this, but like so and so works at Pizza Hut." And I'm like, "What do you mean so and so works at Pizza Hut?" Um, and they told me that, he has such bad depression, like the only job he can hold is being a pizza driver. And part of it is just like he has such low self-worth. And I thought to myself, like, holy frick, man, like this person, I didn't know, because I didn't know them that well. It's like I had conversations with them, but it was like I never it's like one of those people, it's like you can meet people, but you might not feel like you want to intrude too much on their life, like if you only met a person a couple times. But I had respect for this person. I didn't wish them well of. I didn't wish them bad. I mean, it's like one of those people, it's like it's like an acquaintance. So, but for me to hear that they went through college, I think they got an engineering degree, but I might be remembering wrong. I remember it was like definitely one of those like specialized degrees. I think it was engineering, and I think it could have been electrical engineering. I think maybe can't remember exactly, but I think I'm pretty damn sure it was engineering of sorts. So for this person to go through college, get an engineering degree, and then end up as a Pizza Hut delivery driver because of their depression, I just thought to myself like, frick, this person needs to get their life back on track, because if they don't have their life back on track, what's gonna happen if their parents pass away? Like it's scary because cost of living in Hawaii is so freaking high. A pizza delivery driver uh can't make can't how do I say this? A pizza delivery driver cannot live off a pizza delivery driver income in Hawaii for sure. And then I'm sure when they look at their pay, they're probably like, frick, I'm such a loser. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like they went to college getting that degree, and then because of their depression, they can only hold a pizza delivery driver job. So that depresses me. That depresses me a lot when I think about that kind of stuff. So yeah, it definitely, surprised me about how deep their depression is. And I have no way of contacting this person, by the way, in case you guys are wondering, like, oh, Eric, how come you didn't reach out to them? Like, this was like, I can't reach out to them. I know their name, but it's like, I don't know their Facebook. I don't know their phone number. It's kind of weird if I'm like, hey, I heard from someone that you're a pizza delivery driver now, and I'm kind of worried that you have depression. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of weird for me to say that kind of stuff. And I don't want them to think I'm like looking down upon them for stuff, but it's like I see it more like as wasted potential, because when I put if I put myself in their shoes, I imagine like what they wanted for themselves is a lot higher than being a pizza delivery driver. So yeah, but this was like over 5 years ago when I found out about this stuff. I don't know what happened to them since then. Maybe I kind of want to look them up and see what happened, but who knows? They have such a common name, it might be hard for me to find them, and I don't think they're on Facebook. Oreo overeating could be a sign of depression. I think his stomach is too stretched out. I don't think he's depressed. I think he's just a chubby, chunky cat. I know two people in my life who clearly embody. One person has always been the type one, and then two other type is like two or three at the same time. Oh gosh. Yeah, the person who embodies 2 and 3, I would say, like, get away. Get away. Get away. Don't be around people who, like, especially people who intentionally try to screw you up, you know? Like, people who try to cause, like, stress in your life or de-stress in your life, or people who are, self-serving, or you get what I'm saying? Like, people you yourself would not want to become, like, yeah. So you gotta cut the crap out of your life. Get some drain cleaner or something, and put the flush the crap down or something. Yeah. So, it's just yeah, yeah. It sounds very idealistic, but it's like I hope that people who are in depression right now, I hope they get out of it relatively soon, or relatively quickly, because I remember in my life when I was going through some really like deep depression, it was not it was not a joyful time in my life. And it's like now I look back at it and I think, geez, I'm so happy that I'm in a much better headspace now. And I know there's people who are stuck in my headspace like I used to be in, or it's even worse. So yeah, depression is one of those things, like, I think some people they take very lightly, or they're like, "Oh, they're just a little sad, it's no big deal," but frick, if you don't have the right headspace, it can really screw up your life. It can screw up your life, it can cause you to, you know, it causes some people to end it prematurely. It's just depression is really not something to mess around with, and it needs to be treated immediately, or handled immediately. So yeah, overall, too long, didn't hear it all. If anybody in your life is a piece of crap, don't mourn them, kick them to the curb. You want to be around supportive people. You want to be around quality people. You don't need to have the most amount of friends. This is not high school. This is not like, oh, I have 200 friends, so I'm like super popular and super cool. No, it's more important to have people who really have your back, people who are supportive of you, and people who uplift you and encourage you to be, in a better place, or they encourage you to be the best version of yourself, elevate you. Like that's the people that I like to keep in my life. And if people are depressed, reach out to them. Reach out to them. Try to get them into a better headspace, give them guidance, let them know that you're there for them. But yeah, and never ever ever never ever like give off the whole thing like they're a burden. Because if you're dealing with a depressed person, once you use the word burden, it can stick to them forever. And I know there was this one person in my life that they had the word burden stuck on their mind, and then they just kept reiterating it for whatever reason. And their life ended prematurely because they were so fixated and they were so hung up, and they believed that they were a burden because I believe someone called them a burden. um and yeah, I might be remembering it wrong, but that person that person knew a person, and the friend. So that person's friend's mom reached out to them and said, you're being a burden to my child. And the depressed person heard about that, and they never shook off the idea of being a burden. And yeah, it's like they never was able to shake off this idea. And if I could, that person who called that other person a burden, the depressed person, I would have slapped them. I would have freaking slapped them myself. And I'm not one person to promote violence, but you don't like if you're like that old, and that person was like at least like 50, 60 years old, if you tell another person who is clearly depressed, who has mental, I don't want to say mental illness, but if they're not mentally well at the time, if you call a person who's not mentally well and who's clearly depressed a burden, like you're idiot. Because you should have that knowledge, and you should know that a depressed person will hold on to negative things said about them and magnify it in their brain. And it's been like over 10 years since that person passed away, and it's like sometimes I just think about it, I'm like, frick. Yeah. So I knew this person personally. I try to communicate to them many times like they were not a burden, and I could not get through to them because depression has such a strong hold that even if a depressed person knows how much people love and care for them, right? You can't break through it. Depression is really dangerous, and it is a terrible, terrible thing. Um, so yeah, I'm a full supporter of people seeking help if they are depressed, if they have any anxiety issues that are seemingly out of control. Um, there's no taboo on it. There's a reason why there are doctors. And if you feel like medication will help your life, then go for it. If you feel like therapy or having a psychologist or psychiatrist will help you, then go for it. Life is too short to just be crippled by anxiety and depression. And yeah, so uh yeah, always try to make sure that you pay attention to people who are depressed, and encourage them to get better, support them in getting better, and don't say such stupid things like, don't say ever tell a person who's depressed they're a burden, because saying words like that might lead them to do things that are permanent. And yeah, um all the people who have passed away because of early prematurely due to themselves, I distinctively remember them. And it shaped me in the sense that Like when they passed away, I felt incredible sadness. And then afterwards, it's like you know, of course you get shock, you get sadness, you get anger, you have all these questions, but what I take from it is that the knowledge that you have, seeing how people are, or you recognizing the warning signs, like it's important to nip it in the bud if you see it in another person. So if someone is looking like crap, if someone has a lot of sadness in their eyes, you should talk to them. You should reach out to them and say, you know, hey, is everything okay? You know, what's going on? Let's talk about it. You know, you need to get yourself in a better headspace, and you know, don't treat yourself like crap. Don't treat yourself like crap just because some relationship ended, or some friend left you, or some quote friend left you. Not really a friend, but a fake friend or some crap friend. Yeah, let's quote friends. It takes the meds long enough and maybe 8 weeks to get. You know what? Sometimes medication doesn't work. I heard some people they don't like taking medications because it makes them kind of numb or they don't feel things. I've never taken medication, by the way, for that, for depression or anxiety. But I've known people who have, and they just say things like it just messes with their brain. Jim says I've had some so-called friends in my volunteer community stab me in the back so badly in the past few weeks trying to destroy me. Yeah. I can't say that everybody that I know is in volunteering are angels. You guys know that's why I stopped volunteering at one place. Sometimes, you know, when you volunteer, you end up with narcissists. You end up with people who are like power tripping. People who just volunteer not because they want to help the community, but because they're aware of how they might seem to people, and then they just you know they use that as like their form of being superior to others, which I think is completely wrong. By the way, I think maybe it's because I hold on to being altruistic or something. But yeah, the people who volunteer, you guys, if you guys watch my own streams, you'll see me talking about it. Yeah, it's not as like Girl Scout cookie as you might think. So, whatever happens in the volunteering circle, don't take it personally because you got some pretty sick fucks out there. I can't believe I said that, but you know what I'm talking about. Like they're not like baking cookies or heart stars and unicorns. These people are just yeah, they're not good people. So you got good volunteers, you got people who really do want to help the community, and people who are just scumbags trying to, you know, look good, or they're like, yeah, you know, I've been volunteering for X amount of time, and yeah, you should listen to me because I've been volunteering for X amount of time. It's like, oh, geez, power tripping. Um, yeah, and for those people, like, I don't mind talking back to them. I'm like, I don't care how old you are. Um, and it's like the food bank thing. You guys knew I used to volunteer at the food bank. I don't volunteer at the food bank anymore because of that drama. But outside of that food bank, it's like if I'm at another volunteering event and it's like I don't sign up for certain things or anything, it's like I have no problem telling people like what did you say? You know, excuse me, that kind of stuff. I have no problem saying that. Um, because when it comes down to it, it's like people volunteer their time to help out a community. I don't volunteer to become a freaking emotional punching bag. You know, I don't get paid for it. When I used to work for the insurance place, at least I got paid for all that crap that I was hearing. But yeah, volunteering and hearing all that crap, no, 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 no. So Jim, yeah, just volunteering, good for volunteering. Just stay away from the crap. Stay away from the crap, or get another volunteering gig. Because if one volunteering gig doesn't work for you, try another one. Get away from those people. I was actually sad when I had to stop volunteering at the food bank. I was sad because I actually wanted to volunteer for a long period of time with that food bank, but I thought it over and I was like, you know what? I respect myself too much to stay in a place like that. So, yeah. Uh, yeah. And if that place is struggling, you know what? That's on them. I'm not going to save a struggling food bank because of how they treat people. So, If a food bank is short staffed because the head volunteers in charge who've been volunteering for 10, 15 years are bitches, then yeah, they gotta take accountability and say, maybe it's the way we treat our volunteers. Maybe that's why people are leaving. Volunteer for animals, less description. I used to volunteer at an animal shelter, and the only bad thing about volunteering at an animal shelter is you want to take some of those animals home. Oh yeah, that was yeah. I was like, oh, like if I saw a cat that was super cute, I would be tempted to take another cat home. But actually, I don't know. Like if it was a cat like just like Oreo, oh man, I would be very very tempted to take that cat home. In this case, it was an emergency service, which makes it worse. I can only do stuff behind the scenes and couldn't go there with kind of pounds. What? What? What the hell happened? You got jumped, Jim? Are you okay? Oh, okay. Pounds verbally attacked. Okay, okay. Okay, I was gonna say, man, if they try to like attack you, I hope you're able to attack back or get someone to attack them back. That's scary. Oh, attempt to drive you out. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Jeez. Well, at least you're physically safe. You know, those verbal attacks I know can shake you up a lot, but as long as it's not like physical, it's not that bad. I mean, especially if you don't know them, right? You can always just walk away from that kind of thing. If you know them and they verbally attack you, that would be painful, more painful. But it sounds like you didn't really know them too much, so easy to just get away from that. Get away from those people who put you in difficult times. Yeah. I don't know what Lois is doing right now, but I'm freezing in this closet. We have a heater in here, but I think it's broken because there's no freaking heat. There's supposed to be heat that comes out from this like one area, but it's freezing as hell in here. And I think that because this apartment was made so durably and with such top quality materials that yeah, the heat doesn't work in the closet. Yeah. Uh-oh. 38 years in service. I thought I knew them. I had a couple of friends who backed me up and supported me. Okay, okay. Well, good thing you had your friends supporting you. Yeah, if it's someone like a father or like a relative, that's a lot tougher. But definitely get away from them if you can, and then just be with people who do care for you and who are there. I think family relationships very very difficult though. It gets very it's hard to because it's like one thing like you would think that your family members should not be that way, but when they are that way, it's just hurtful and yeah, yeah, yeah. I think people in YouTube tend to be pretty supportive, minus a few trolls here and there, a few trolls. But when you talk to like people in like smaller channels, like my channel only has like 29 people watching right now. It's more personalized and having things a little bit more like less like trollololol and more actually about like talking to people. Like I know I've seen some of you guys like here all the time in my streams and I'm really surprised you guys can show up because like for me sometimes like I see Lewis's stream and I don't get notification towards his streams. I'm like I don't know, it's strange. Like I have him show up as notifications, but his streams don't really show up. Not all of them. And definitely not when he's going live. So there are times like he's going live and I'm like, really? He's streaming right now? My phone didn't show me that notification. Yeah. But yeah. So I hope you guys all do well. Thanks, Jim. I still have everything. It's inside of the closet. In a safe space. In its own designated space. So yeah, I put it in like safe space that's very well protected, um, and somewhere Oreo can't claw into. Ah, no, don't feel bad if you miss my streams, Catherine. I never feel bad if I miss Lewis's stream. I never do. I know sometimes it's like I should tune in while he's streaming, and I'm like, oh, it's just him. It's just him streaming again. And as my neighbor says, my neighbor told me, she was like, Erica, I saw Lewis's streams, but I thought it was boring. So yeah, I didn't watch his stream. And I was like, oh, amen. Amen, neighbor. Like, I knew. She was like, I checked out your stream. I was like, yay, yeah, check out my stream. Don't check out his stream. And then she was, and I know I'm repeating myself, but it got to the conversation of like, why does he have like so many subscribers? And it comes down to like he has a lot of people who are probably anti-Apple. There's like 1 million anti-Apple fans, I guess. But yeah, so they just kind of bond together all on his basically his F Apple YouTube of sorts. Yeah. I know it's definitely, even though it's tech, you should visit a Paul Daniels stream. You would be so welcome. Oh, you know what? I'm subscribed to Paul Daniels, but I never really get notification for stream. I'm subscribed to like 40 people, but it's like I don't think I had the bell on or something. So even though I'm subscribed to them, it's like I never hear about their stuff. So I'm like, ark. But I'm subscribed to a lot of people. I'm just like, oh, like I'm subscribed to Eli, and I'm like, how come I never see Eli videos? Hmm. But I know Eli is still doing videos. Yeah. But I just don't get his notifications. I don't know why. So yeah. Paul Daniel streams is a lot more calm. It's not so F Apple or F this. He watches his language for sure. At least that's what I saw in the Paul Daniel stream. So it's for those people who are more refined, and for people who don't have to degrade Apple, like F Apple. Like no. Or maybe I'm reading Paul Daniels wrong, but I think of Paul Daniels as a classy man. Oh yeah, I can't wait till the new MacBooks come out. I'm gonna be so happy. So happy about the new MacBooks. Oh. Yeah, so hopefully when the new MacBooks come out, I'm hoping that my computer can actually handle video editing, and then I can finally go back to editing videos, because Cleo was just pissed off editing video. Like, she does not like to edit video with her 4 gigabytes of RAM. And it's like I see my computer and it's just like freeze, 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 import audio, freeze, freeze, freeze. It's like I like Lewis because he's not afraid to let people know what his opinion is. And he bases his opinion on facts and logic instead of following the popular opinion. You know what he doesn't do? He does not tell people to invest in Apple, though. He is always like, don't buy Apple, don't invest in Apple. And, Apple stock went up. And yeah, it's like I wish when I did my first stream with him back in, I think, June 2019, when he fixed Clio, like something like Lewis fixed girlfriend's MacBook. It has like 1 million views on there. I wish I said in that stream that people should buy Apple stock. I wish I said that, but I didn't even own Apple stock back then. But I wish I told people that. It was like, yeah. So yeah, because he's dating someone who owns an Apple computer. This should be a sign that you should buy Apple stock. Just saying. So we will see what happens to Apple in 2021. There might be a dip. I think there might be a stock dip somewhere because of some uh, restriction news, or the evictions, or the whatever financial news that's going to rock the stock market, but it's going to recover. Am I trying to edit in 1080p? You know what? 4 gigabytes of RAM doing video editing, that it's gonna let anything. It's gonna make Clio mad. So I gotta upgrade Clio to C2, Clio 2, and then and then I can go out, do some video, upload the video, do some nice editing. see how it is, and add some music on there, you know, some royalty-free music. That'd be good. That would be really, really nice. But until then, just waiting for 2021, the new computer coming out, and yeah. So Andrea, tea drinks at the what? How do you? What kind of tea drenched laptops do you have? An Apple computer? Okay, I have no idea what kind of computer you have, Ziamara, but I'm just I'm just happy your computer works after getting water damage, because I know that stuff can be absolutely devastating. Like Cleo got water damage, I think 2 or 3 times, and yeah, her repairs are very, very costly. Oh, 2000. Wow. Geez, 2009 Fujitsu still works. Jeez. Oh, okay. Jim just invited Paul Daniels to watch my stream. I guess this is time for me to end the stream right now, because yeah. Is he hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream right now because Paul Daniels is going in. There's gonna be too much classiness in this stream. And yeah, but I think that next time, if I check out Paul Daniels stream, maybe I'll check out his channel and then turn on. I it's like, I don't know. I don't get a lot of notifications from a lot of the YouTubers that I'm subscribed to. Very, very strange. But yeah, I gotta check out his stream. And actually, I have seen his streams, and every time I go to his streams, it's like, it's just very civil there. And because it's so civil, it's like a nice space to be in. It's not like any of this, F this, F that, you know, FFF, like that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh. There's a big difference. There's definitely a big difference between like Lewis's audience and Paul Daniels's audience, and you know where the class all is. It's not in Lewis's it's not in Lewis's streams, that's for sure. YouTube notifications don't seem to work properly. You know what? I bet you it's just YouTube probably hating on Australians. I don't know what it is, but maybe it is. You gotta like send them an email or something. Send YouTube or send Susan an email and be like, hey, you gotta send those, you gotta allow those notifications to go through for Paul Daniels. Yeah, they're both. Paul Daniels is super calming. Like when I see his streams, I watch him like, dang, he has a very calming, soothing voice. It's like even when I watch his streams, I'm like, dang, you don't see a whole mess of stuff. Like when I've seen his workstation, it looks calming. It's like nice and white. It's not any of this blue matte stuff. It's just, yeah. I don't know, maybe you should do an ASMR stream or something. Keeping it classy with Paul Daniels or something like that. Or maybe he should like, I don't know how he ends a stream, but he should be like, keep it class. See, I can't even say it. Keep it classy, my friends, and then end the stream. What did you miss? Well, I don't know. Someone's getting a bunch of phone calls right now. You didn't miss much if you're talking about my stream. Let me open the closet door. Tub tub. Tub tub. I don't know where tub tub is. Huh? Oh, my baby. Come here, my handsome. Oh, my handsome's coming my way. Oh, come here, Tup Tup. Tup Tup. Oh, Tup Tup. Huh? Ah, my little baby. I gotta clean Oriole's paw. He has poop on it. I just realized it. Huh?
Why do you have to clean his paw?
He has poop on it.
Why does he have poop on his paw?
I don't know.
He's dumb.
It's not that.
Dumb.
I think no, it's not on his paw. It's on his leg.
That makes it any better.
Yeah, it's because freaking Clinton probably pooped all over the place.
I did that not poop
It
on
might
his.
be Barry too. How can Oreo get poop on his own foot?
He's not smart.
No, I blame your two black cats. It can't be Oreo. It is not this little handsome cat. He just needs a little bit more TLC. Yeah, Oreo has some poop on his paw, his foot. So I need to clean that off this little guy. He used to finish with "Don't let the dingles bite." Aw. Oh, hello, my Tup Tup. Let me see. Here. You guys get to see Oreo. Hold on.
Erica?
What? What is it?
1 second.
He says it.
Hello, I'll be right downstairs. Yeah, be right downstairs. Thank you.
Oh, I guess influencer needs food.
Erica, can you do me 1 or 2 favors?
What?
Can you either A, continue playing the game of Dota, take this tower without dying, or B, bring up a burrito?
Okay, I'll bring up the tower. What?
I need you to keep playing, but you can't die.
You want me to just click?
Wait, do you know how to play the game?
Yeah, just like this, right?
Oh, no.
What? What?
Can you get the burrito?
What? You want me to get the burrito? Did you order me any food?
Maybe.
You did?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, if I did, I'm eating 1 burrito.
I didn't know what you wanted and you were in the closet.
You could have asked me.
I know, but it takes you 20 minutes to decide what you want to eat.
You still could have asked me.
I know, but then I would have lost the game.
Bullshit. You're trying to be a smooth person, but you're not that smooth. I know you are. He's trying to weasel his way out of this. See, he got food and he never asked me what I wanted.
Erica orders food, it takes her 30 minutes to decide what she wants. It's crazy.
I'm not crazy. I want to see the whole menu.
Exactly. You want to read the detailed description and Google each particular item and zoom in on every particular item.
No, now you're being
A
ridiculous.
game to play, Erica.
Huh?
A game.
And I got a burrito. I have to grab that isn't mine.
Make sure to get something else made of tofu since you were Erica, stop us. She had any options. She could have played the game. I'm almost out of math from being owned by the damn town. Wait, you just killed my fucking courier. You cunt! Yeah, I got Medusa died anyway. God bless you, Erica. You're too kind. You are too kind. Kinder than I.
Of course.
Unopenable fruit containers that they use for
Okay, you guys. Whew. It is cold. Yeah, so yeah, I am back over here. So, yeah. I'm gonna close the closet a bit. Yeah, have I tried to? Oriole doesn't have worms. He got checked for worms before. It doesn't like he walked. I guess his foot brushed against poop, so he got poop on one of his feet. So yeah, I think that's what happened. So it's not like he has poop on his butthole or anything like that. It's like poop on his paw, so I have to clean it up after I'm done streaming. But yeah, Lewis has been ordering food. He doesn't want to eat the food I make, so he just orders food now, and that's kind of pricey in my opinion. But yeah, he'd rather eat restaurant food than eat my food. Yeah, he doesn't like eating stew, so like I like eating beef stew, but he thinks that's weird. You know, eating soup is weird, and yeah, he rather just eat anything that a restaurant makes. Like when he eats my food, I don't know what it is. Like he'll tell me like my stew is bland and I eat. I'm like, no, this is how stew is. Like I've tried the stew and I'm like, no, this is actually well seasoned. But yeah, his tastes are very particular. So he doesn't like any stew. He thinks it's weird to have meat in any liquid. You know, like stew or soup. So that's the thing, and yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of like the compromise that we made, that he made, is just like he just buys all his food now. He doesn't eat anything I make because he thinks my cooking is like not good. And I'm like, well, you know, I've cooked for several people before. I've cooked for my family, cooked for my, you know, friends, cooked for um cooked for exes, and yeah, it's like across the board. It's like nobody has had such reaction towards my food. And of course I eat the food myself, right? But it's like nobody has had such like a strong opinion about like food as Lewis does. And I don't take it personally because um you know, his dad used to cook for the Plaza Hotel, which is it's a very, very famous hotel, and even his dad struggled to feed Lewis. So if a cook at the Plaza Hotel had a hard time getting food that Lewis liked, yeah, I'm better off. I'm better off leaving it to the professionals. And no, he doesn't mind ramen, but he wants to eat healthier food. So, for me, it's like the things that I usually make is like vegetables and meat and things like that. Yeah, but it's like I would love to make him food, you know, that he likes, but he just doesn't like my cooking. And it's like I can't even figure out what's wrong with it. I'm like, hey, what is wrong with it? What's does it need more flavoring? And he'll just do like one bite of it, and he'll be like, yeah, this is like I don't want to have more of it. So I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't really help me too much with figuring out what's wrong with my food. Uh, yeah, I just let it. I just you know, I'm just like okay. So I make my food, and then he just orders his food. Donors? What is donors? Donors is. It sounds like. What is a donor? That sounds familiar. I can't look at the link. Donors? Oh, what is donors? Oh, jiggle my mind. What is that? Oh, meat kebabs. Oh. Oh, there we go. That's what it is. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I know I heard it before, but I'm like, frick, where's that coming from? Because I'm thinking donut. Yeah. No, he has no desire to cook. He has no desire to cook. And then, like, if I ask, like, what do you want to eat, right? And he'll be like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So it's kind of like between a rock and a hard place because it's like I don't know what he wants to eat. He doesn't give me indication of like what specifically he wants to eat. And then if I make it, he'll have like one bite and he'll be like, I don't want to eat it. And it's like, okay. So yeah, it kind of sucks in that regard. So yeah, I just cook for myself, and it's kind of strange to just cook for myself. It really is, but yeah, that's how things are now. You know, it's like, okay, just yeah, cause yeah, but it's better this way because he doesn't have to think about my cooking, and I maintain like my cooking is not bad. I maintain my cooking is not bad. It can't be bad when 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 I've never heard like this kind of like uh was a great cook. What's it's a shame because he's a great cook. No, yeah, but uh oh, anonymous individual has been in the reverse right. Yeah, because it's like between you and me, or you guys and me, it's like I'm so used to like I don't know. It's like I've never had to really deal with like food being outright um just like rejected. You get what I'm saying? And but I don't have the same taste palette. So because I don't have the same taste palette, I'm not able to kind of gauge. And it's like I try it, I taste it, I season it, and I'm like, yeah, this tastes pretty good. I have no problems eating it. But then I think also it's like the people who I do know, it's they're not very picky eaters. But when you but when someone has a specific palate, right? And you've heard about people like that. Some people they only eat, let's say, um, pepperoni pizza, chicken fingers, and French fries. Like some people only like eating that stuff, and if there's nothing else that they like, then they're just gonna dismiss it all. So um, it's like things like that. So it's like I ask them, I'm like, hey, what do you find? What do you think is like good food? And he'll be like, oh, lucha lucha burritos were good, and I'm like, I can't figure out what lucha lucha burritos taste like because the place closed down. So you can talk about this burrito place being really good for the last couple of years, but that doesn't help me. You see what I'm saying? It's like if someone told me like, oh, Erica, I really like Korean food, or I really like Japanese food, or I really like eating like a chirashi sushi, or chirashi bowl, or I like eating like miso yaki, like miso butterfish or something like that, or like sundubu, or some Chinese dish or something like that. Like I can work with that. I can figure out. But if I don't have any like gauge about what's good, it's like I have to kind of guess. So yeah, the downside is like if I try recipes and it's like something that I normally don't eat, and if he doesn't like it, it's just gonna stay in the fridge. So no one's gonna eat it. So I have to be mindful about whatever I cook. If it's not something that I personally like to eat, and he doesn't want it, it just kind of goes to waste, or I'm gonna be the one eating it. So yeah, I made a few dishes in the past where it's like I was cooking and then it's like he didn't want to eat it, I didn't want to eat it because I made it because I thought he would eat it, and then it just goes to waste. So yeah, but it kind of sucks because like food delivery is pretty damn pricey, you know. It's not cheap, and yeah. What about something like Blue Apron? It's not it's not that I can't cook, because I can definitely cook. It's just that the taste palette is very specific, and I don't know what it is. You see what I'm saying? Like it's like if you give someone a bunch of dishes and you know the dishes are tasty, but if that person doesn't like it specifically, then nobody eats it. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think doing any of this Blue Apron thing is really gonna fix it. So that's why it's just easier to just make separate food. Like I make my own food, and then he can just order his food if he wants to. And in case you're thinking like he's interested in cooking with me, he's not. Oh, thank you, Jim. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use it for a cookie fun or something. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just kind of strange. Speaking on a personal note, because sometimes it's like I would love to make food that he really likes, but it's like I can't figure it out. Like I don't know what's good, you know. With all due respect, nuking. No, are you talking about like the vegan vegetarian stuff? No, it's like I used to actually cook food before. I used to actually cook curries and other dishes before, but it's like it wasn't really well received. So I stopped it, and then I went off to the Gardein stuff, and the processed stuff. That's basically like fried gluten bits with tasty sauce on it. And then he really liked that for like the longest time. So I was just making that, and then he got tired of that, and then when he stopped becoming a vegetarian, I said, hey, let me make you some meat, because I'm omnivore, right? But he doesn't trust my meat dishes. And then he tried my food today, and he tried my food. Like he doesn't like stews, and I like stews. So yeah, it's like between a rock and a hard place, because I don't I don't mind cooking meat, but I can't gauge what he really likes. You know? Mm-hmm. Yep, Jim. Yeah, I like stews a lot. I'm a big fan of stews. I think it's so nourishing because all the vegetables are braised in there. But yeah, it's like I don't have an aversion towards soup, so I don't understand. So yeah, if you think about it that way, it's like, hey, nothing with like a soup is good. There was like a time I was making chili, but I think he thought that was weird, so I stopped making chili. Yeah, yeah, Jim. Yeah. I guess like, yeah, it's just it's like one of those things. I hope I can visit New York one day again. You know what? I hope air travel is a lot safer. Sunny, do you normally announce yourself whenever you go to like streams? Cause it's like, I know some people do. Um, like I know I announce myself. It's like I don't know when you're in my stream. Sunny, you should stream. You should stream and you should do your own stream. Ah, I found the rest of my ex has been ashamed to admit that I cooked. What? What? Anonymous, why would your ex be ashamed to admit that you cooked for her? Like, I think it's really flattering if someone cooks for you. You're making a studio. What do you mean you're making a studio? You're making a recording studio? Geez, Sonny, you're really going all out. Sonny, are you really making a recording studio? Jeez. Sonny, are you gonna go all out and be like one of those like influencer, those really big influencer channels with like the professional camera work and the graphics and things like that? You know what I'm talking about? Like the stuff that's really hi Lord Haven. No, more professional. More professional. Like, you got the green screen stuff going on. Like one of those like tech channels, they got those like nice backgrounds and professional sleek stuff. Like people who actually treat it like a job, not a person who's sitting in their closet showing their MacBook. What? How can you? Why were you asking Paul Daniels to fix your Mac Pro? Why don't you just bring it over to Lewis's store or something? I got a present from Eugene for Lewis. You think I should bring it over? What is it? His head? Is it his head? Because I wouldn't mind if you brought Eugene's head over. No, it's big. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Ask Lewis about it. Oh, anonymous. What? I mean, like, if a man cooks, if a woman cooks, I think cooking is a sign of showing that someone cares. They're spending time to create hopefully a nutritious meal. So yeah, it's good that this person is an ex because yeah, you should be with a person who's happy that you're cooking for them, right? Like you won't want to be with a person who's embarrassed or possibly embarrassed that you're doing such a sweet, kind gesture for them. And if you're looking to date someone, if you have like a dating profile, you can say like something like I will cook for you occasionally, or we can cook together, and that will definitely be like a good thing to add in there. Like, yeah, I can cook, or I am able to cook more than instant ramen and eggs. Um I knew I had an ex once that who was really good at microwaving food. And I was like, "Oh, jeez, oh Lord." Yeah, right? We can spend time together, we will cook together, and something like that. I don't know how people rate dating profiles, but yeah. Oh,
Hey, I
hello.
got you a surprise.
What?
1/3 of a burrito and 1/5 of an avocado salad.
So you gave me the leftovers.
What do I thought of you? I ordered it fractionally because I know that you don't like burritos that are too
Bull!
big because they're too
Bull!
high in carbs. Since they're too high in carbs, I asked them to make a smaller one just for you so that you'd be able to eat it without feeling bloated.
You know what? You're trying to be so swell, but I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, Erica, eat 1/3 of the burrito and eat 1/5 of the salad so you put away the dishes. That's what you're trying to say.
There's no dishes. It's a little plastic
Yeah, so
container.
you can throw away all this stuff. I wasn't born yesterday. I know that.
You were born way longer than yesterday.
You get what I'm saying, though. You get what I'm saying. So that is one
Erica
of
was
those
born
that
number
is one of those
30,000 yesterday.
tactics. That is one of those tactics. Like, oh, I left you 2 bites of a sandwich so you can eat it. It's like you don't gotta put this stuff away. I get it.
You salty.
I'm not salty. I'm
You're
just
mad.
I'm calling a spade a spade.
You're really salty.
What kind of burrito is it?
Salt burrito.
A salt burrito.
I retract my offer.
You
I'll
retract
finish the
my
burrito.
offer.
I'll finish the
What?
remainders of the burrito.
Okay. I called them out. What can I say? It's like, hey, I want to save water. Do you want to flush the toilet? It's like, what? Or if someone doesn't flush the toilet, oh, I was just trying to be water saving. Oh, whatever. Whatever. Yeah. Sometimes I think he's trying to be sly, but I know better. Yep. No, it's because he doesn't have to put it away. He doesn't have to put the food away. It's just, yeah. And doesn't have to clean up the table. That's what it is. Bigger picture here. I know it. Yeah, so anyway, I will talk to you guys later. And yeah, stay warm, you guys. Yeah. What you should do now is order some meat with every meal. Oh goodness, no, no. We don't have any. We don't have that much room in the fridge for all that. The fridge is like so small. The fridge is so small. It's so like it's so yeah. It doesn't have that much space in it. It's weird. Like my fridge in Hawaii had way more space, but I swear it's the same size. Maybe it's missing a rack. I don't know, but yeah. I will talk to you guys later. You guys take care. See ya.